over cow's milk. Plant-based milk is here to stay. And with the overwhelming amount of options at the grocery store now, I'm here to help by ranking the top 10 alternatives to dairy milk based on nutritional value. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, Inc. Nutrition, where we are all about mind, body, and food. My name is Jack, I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm here to help translate the science of nutrition so that you can live a healthier and happier life. Please like, comment, and subscribe for videos every week. So the global market for plant-based milk is now approaching $40 billion a year. It's just nuts. Also, technically, it's not a nut milk, it's more of a juice, but no one's calling it nut juice with a straight face. So why are we seeing such a high demand for these alternatives? Well, there's a variety of reasons. Lactose intolerance, milk allergies are on the rise, also awareness of the environmental impact, increase in veganism, and just taste preferences. But not all plant-based milk is as good as it sounds. And also, cow's milk, dairy products actually provide 50 to 70% of the total calcium each day on an average American diet, and 10 to 20% of the total protein. So it's a super nutrient dense food, and if you can tolerate it, I do recommend it. But today we are here to talk about the power of plants. Now, a few considerations before we begin the list. One, this is just my opinion based on my own research, and I'm also just evaluating these nut milks, these plant-based milks based on the nutritional value, not the taste, not the cost, and not the environmental impact. And finally, there's a lot of factors that go into assessing the quality of these products, such as homemade versus store-bought, the fortification of nutrients, GMO ingredients versus organic, presence of heavy metals, also the all the additives that you can see in these especially store-bought versions, such as added sugars, added emulsifiers and gums, and then of course the highly processed inflammatory oils. So for the sake of this list, I'm going to be referring to just the least processed option of each milk, ones that have no added sugar, no added oils, and very minimal, if any, additives. All right, so now finally we're here. Let's begin the top 10 list. We're going to start off, of course, with number 10, which is macadamia milk. Now, this is a pretty low-calorie option. It's a decent milk. It has very low protein, though, and of course, some fat from the nuts, no fiber, and it does have some naturally occurring calcium, which is a good thing. Number 9 is coconut milk. Similar nutritional qualities here, but it does have a little more fat, and that fat is mostly coming from medium-chain fatty acids, which have been shown to help improve brain health. So this is a good one. Not as good though as number 8, which is almond milk. All right, we got a little more protein here, a little more fat, a little more fiber. Now, of course, this always depends on how you're making it, but almond milk is an okay option. Now, I do want to point out that it does have a decent amount of oxalate, which can inhibit calcium absorption. So it's not as good as some of these other ones. So number 7 is cashew milk. All right, cashew milk is pretty balanced. It's also really creamy and tasty, but it's got a little more of everything in it. It also has some magnesium, zinc, iron, and vitamin K. Moving on to number 6, personal favorite of mine, is pistachio milk. If you haven't tried this one, give it a shot. It's really good. It's also quite balanced. It's got a little extra fiber too. But again, you can see it with most of these, low on the protein, right? Just 2 grams per serving. Now, pistachio milk does have some extra potassium, vitamin E, and some phytochemicals, such as some tocopherols and carotenoids that can reduce oxidative stress. Moving on to number 5, oat milk. This is a super popular one, and it's pretty healthy, but you want to be pretty mindful of the one that you get at the store because a lot of them contain those processed oils that I was mentioning. So look for the ones that have, no added oils and very minimal additives as a whole, right? And so this is a good product. It's got a little more carbs. It does have some beta glucans, which is a fantastic nutrient, really good fiber. It's got added polyphenols and antioxidants as well, and it's low in the oxalate. Also, with the oat milk, try to choose non-GMO oats. Okay, now we're moving a bit higher up on the list. Number 4, hemp milk. This is probably a bit of a unique one for most of you, but you can find it at most stores. Give it a shot. Unique flavor. I personally really like it. Now, in terms of these macronutrients, carbs, proteins, fats, fiber, nothing really noteworthy there, but it does have a decent amount of magnesium, iron, and vitamin E, and all 9 essential amino acids, which is pretty unique for a plant-based milk, really any plant-based food. And it also has some good omega-3s, which we really like. All right, everyone, we have made it to the final 3. Who's gonna make the podium? Coming in at 3rd place is flax milk, which is pretty similar to hemp when it comes to nutrition. It's got those amino acids, it's got those omega-3s, probably a little more of the omega-3s, and in a better ratio when you look at omega-6 versus omega-3. But it also has more fiber, which is so good for so many reasons: cholesterol, heart health, also of course gut health. So big fan of flax. Now on to the silver medal 2nd place, pea milk. Okay, now this one is on the rise. You're probably going to start seeing it more and more in the store. At the moment, there's really just 1 or 2 popular brands, but more are coming. Again, like I mentioned before, you do want to try to find the one that does not have any added oils to it. But the big thing that stands out here compared to all of the other ones we've reviewed so far, as you can see, is the protein amount. All right, so 8 grams per serving. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, but all the nutrients at the bottom is based on 1 cup. Okay, so 8 grams. That is the same as you would see in cow's milk, which is so good. And they do make this milk mostly from yellow field peas, which can be very nutritious. So yeah, love pea milk. Give it a shot. Now, number 1, what is the best plant-based milk? The best alternative to dairy, in my personal opinion, that would be soy milk. All right, now there's some caveats here. You do want to choose, again, one without those additives that I mentioned. On the label, you should just see soybeans and water, ideally. And ideally, organic soybeans, because soy products do have a reputation for being genetically modified and having pesticides. So this is one where I do recommend going organic. Just like the pea milk and just like dairy milk, it has a lot of protein. Really good amount here, 9 grams, okay, per cup, which is so good. It actually is even a little bit more than dairy milk. And it has a lot of phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, iron, zinc, copper, mono and polyunsaturated fatty acids. Now, some people do like to point out the phytoestrogens in soy milk as being something that's problematic. I disagree. From what I've seen in the literature, I think it can actually be protective with the amount that's in there when it comes to certain cancers. Now, maybe the jury's still out there. We need a little more data, but I would not be too concerned with those phytoestrogens. So there you have it. Soy milk, pea milk, those are the, number 1 and number 2. But all of those honestly are pretty good options as long as you're getting a minimally processed version with low oils, low emulsifiers and gums, no added sugar. Like I would choose, what was on the number 10, like the macadamia milk. I would choose that clean version, right, with no additives over like a soy milk that is highly processed, that does have the oils. So as long as you're getting, a clean version, you're good. And what's the best way to do that is to make it homemade. If you haven't made homemade nut milk, please give it a shot. Do yourself a favor. It takes a little bit of time. You have to soak them overnight, and then you have to blend them and use a nut milk bag to strain it out. But it is so much more cost effective. It's way tastier, in my opinion, and it's better for you. Now, none of those milks on that whole list are going to have the same amount of calcium naturally as you would find in a dairy milk. So do get the ones that are fortified with calcium if you plan to rely solely on those types of milk, right? Because it's pretty hard to get adequate amount of calcium elsewhere. So fortified, I do recommend. Now, some of you might be wondering what I have in my fridge. Well, I kind of like a little bit of everything. I usually always have a whole milk on hand, a dairy, because I can tolerate it well, and a plant-based milk, because I got different preferences. And, you know, speaking of preferences, I know I just reviewed those based on the nutritional value, but if I had to stack them up based on just flavor and taste, just for me, I would choose oat milk, soy milk, and pistachio milk as my favorite. So if you haven't had the pistachio, look for that one. All right, that's what I got for you today. I would love to hear your opinion. Please drop it in the comment below if you disagree. We'd love to start up a discussion there and we can talk about it, because some of it can be a little subjective. You know, there's a lot of factors, like I said in the beginning, that can go into assessing the nutritional value. So again, my name is Jack, registered dietitian with Inc. Nutrition. We're a team of dietitians who can help you really achieve anything in the world of nutrition, whether it's a clinical condition or just improve your relationship with food or sports performance, all kinds of stuff. So if you want some individual help, reach out. We'd be happy to work with you. Please like, comment, and subscribe for videos every week. Remember, long-term health begins in your kitchen, so get cooking and have a delicious day. Thanks so much. See you next time. So it's technically not a nut milk, but more of a nut juice. I know that sounds a little funny. Go get some nut juice. I could really go for some cold cashew milk right now. So for the sake of this list, I will be referring to such as store-bought versus